I've grown my business to $18 million of deals closed, an incredible team of 10 people, and hundreds of happy customers, all at the age of 25 while still making the time to work out twice a day, travel, and do the things I love to do outside of work. I'm not necessarily the smartest guy or the hardest working guy on the block. I just think I've been able to focus on the right things consistently over the past 3 years. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through my complete yet extremely simple productivity system that's allowed me to supercharge my progress. It includes how I set my quarterly goals and how I set my tasks every day to align with those quarterly goals, how I plan tomorrow the night before, and how I manage my tasks and my calendar so that it works for me. And stick around until the end of the video, because at the end of the video, I'm going to be sharing a 7-day simple challenge that you can get started to actually supercharge your progress over the next 7 days. So without further ado, let's get into this video. The idea for this video all started last month when we hired a new teammate and I saw that he was struggling with staying on top of his tasks and focusing on the highest priority tasks. I met with him and I put together a plan that looked extremely similar to what I'm going to be going over in this video. If it can work for him with his extremely unorganized Asana, this is going to be able to work for you too. This all starts with a big mindset shift. The number one mindset shift is this. You need to stop going to sleep without knowing what you're going to start your day tomorrow with. You feel tired at night. You want to watch TV, you want to scroll social media, and I get it. Everyone wants to do that. You don't want to think about work. You don't want to think about planning your life. I get it. But that's where the magic happens. That's what the other people aren't doing, and that's why they're falling behind. They are not planning at night. So what you want to start doing is you want to start taking 5 to 10 minutes at the end of each night to start planning out your next day. And let me tell you, this is going to supercharge you like crazy. Tomorrow starts today. Plan tomorrow today. That is the major mindset shift. My productivity starts the night before with 4 simple steps, which I'm going to get into in this video. Number 1 is setting my quarterly goals and making sure my tasks align with my quarterly goals. Number 2 is getting my tasks into a simple task management software. Number 3 is making sure my calendar aligns with the tasks that I have and I time block out the day. And number 4 is recording a short 1 to 2 minute video reviewing today and going forward to tomorrow. Let's dive into number 1, which is defining your quarterly goals, which I call rocks. Productivity all starts with getting the right thing done. You can be the hardest working person ever, but if you spend your whole day working on the wrong things, you're never going to move forward. I want you to pause this video and I want you to think about, what are your annual goals? What are the goals that you have 12 months from now or throughout the rest of the year? Now that you've thought about that, I want you next to think about, what are the 3 to 5 actions I can take this quarter to get me closer to my annual goal? And those actions, those 3 to 5 actions, are called rocks, which is a term coined by EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System. You might be wondering, why is it called a rock? I'll give you a simple analogy. Imagine you have a jar and you have rocks, pebbles, and sand, and those are kind of your tasks. You first want to fill it with rocks, which are the big important things. Then you put the pebbles and sand to fill it up. And so the idea is you first start your day, you first start your quarter with working on these rocks so you can fill it up with the most important things. So now you have your rocks, now you have the analogy, now you won't forget it. And you want to make sure they are smart. And so smart doesn't mean intelligent. It means specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound. Here's an example of a goal that isn't smart. I want to grow my YouTube channel. That's a non-smart goal. A smart goal is, I want to grow my YouTube channel to 1,000 subscribers by September 30th. Speaking of which, you could be one of those 1,000 subscribers, which is actually one of my goals, by September 30th. So if you want to help me out to hit my rock, you can subscribe to my channel. But besides the point, I can make a whole video on how to set rocks, but for the purpose of the video, let's keep it moving forward. I'm gonna pull up my screen right here and let me show you a quick visual of what do my rocks look like. Here's an example of how my rocks look like for Q3 2025. I've got in here 6 business rocks, and then I also have 3 personal rocks. So as you can tell, like in terms of time, I don't put the dates aren't here because it's end of the quarter is the goal, but hire a sponsor, outreach manager. I will know it's done once the offer letter is sent and signed. The way I look at it is I set the rocks at the beginning of the quarter, and then we set out these milestones, which are like, post the job, conduct, get 100 sample tests, get 15 interviews in, do 3 final interviews. So we have the progress based on those things. So hire a sponsor outreach manager, hire a deal maker, hire ad coordinator, get LinkedIn to 6,500 followers. We started at 4,500, now we're at 4.7K. Get YouTube to 1,000 subs. We are very far from that. We're just getting started. 25 new sponsor points. This is basically 25 new sponsors that spend their first dollar with Adhesive Media. So these are my business ones, but you should also have personal rocks. So for me, it's like 45 sessions where I spend 30 minutes playing piano and reading. So like 15 and 15 each. I want to have 45 of those sessions because I know it gives me a lot of peace. So I want to start tracking it. The next one, 45 times where I sleep before 11 p.m. A big problem I had in my personal life was I was starting to sleep way too late and wasting time at night. I wanted to start sleeping earlier so I could wake up earlier and focus on my most important things in the morning. Okay. So I started tracking it, and there you go. I'm 13% in. That means I've done it 6 times this quarter. And then fitness OKRs are, I break down what type of workouts I want to do. So working on my ankle because I have ankle problems, stretching, run club, sports, Pilates, and then lifting, right? And for all the dudes out there, if you're not doing Pilates yet, you got to start doing Pilates. Really good for knees, ankles, and hips and back, which is, as someone that grew up playing basketball and running a lot, I have problems with all of those places. So Pilates has really been helping with that. But there you go. Now I start tracking all my workouts. Can I work out 120 times this quarter? So next thing here is, now that I have the rocks set, what I want to think about are every night when I review the rocks, and remember, this whole thing is a night before explainer. So what I want to think about the night before is, what are the highest priority things I can do to move each one of these rocks forward tomorrow? All of your efforts should be to move your rocks forward, especially for the first half of your day. And so what happens is, those things that I determine go into my task manager. So for us at Adhesive Media, since we've been doing rock planning for about a year now, I usually plan the rock out at the beginning of the quarter. Here's all the things I need to be doing every week. And then I go on the monthly basis, then the weekly basis, what can I be doing this week? So it's not like I'm just making things up the night before. But even if you're at the stage where you haven't planned out your goals a quarter in advance, even looking at them the night before, taking one action to move them forward, I'm willing to bet you, I don't know how much money you want to bet, I'm willing to bet you $100 that this will move you more towards your goals than you've ever moved towards your goals, just because you're looking at them and you're focusing your actions on those goals rather than focusing them on other actions which aren't your goals, okay? So make sure that clicks to you. You want to be reviewing your quarterly goals every single night, every single morning, and throughout the day. I have my quarterly goals right here on this whiteboard. Okay? So I'm looking at them all the fucking time. It's very important to continuously look at them. Biggest things. What are the highest things, priority things I can do if I have time to move these things forward? If you can plan them ahead of time and then be on track every week, that's great. If not, just think about what you can do tomorrow to move each of them forward. And remember, you should be looking at these 3 times per day. Morning, middle of the day, and especially at night when you're planning your next day. So now that you have your rocks, let's get into the next section, which is inputting your tasks into a task management software. So let's get into the truth. You need somewhere to manage your tasks. It could literally be a piece of paper, but I'd highly recommend going with a project management software. And here's why. As humans, we can only hold so much information in our brains. Even if you're the smartest person in the world, even if you're Albert Einstein, you can really only hold 3 things in your head. So whether it's something as small as paying a parking ticket or as big as building a website, you need every action of it in your task management software. So at Adhesive Media, we use Asana for our task management software, but you could use anything. You use ClickUp, you use Trello, you could use Notion, you could use Monday.com. Any of these work. All that matters is that you pick one and you learn how to use it and it works for you. So you might be thinking to yourself, oh, is it a waste of time to start inputting these small tasks into here? And the answer is no. You want to input everything you can think in here. And what this will do is it'll allow you to help you prioritize the most important things, and it'll allow you to get more out of your head, which means that you'll have more brain capacity for focusing on high-level tasks. So this is a huge breakthrough for me that I've learned very early on, which is let's just get everything out of my head. Whether it's tasks, whether it's thoughts, whatever it is, let's get it out of my head, let's get it into the computer so that when I can log into my computer, I can focus on the highest priority things. Now you are here, I'm sharing my screen, and just as a quick disclaimer, I could literally do a whole 1-hour tutorial on how to use Asana, but I'm gonna keep it simple. If you want a full tutorial on how to use Asana, I suggest checking out Minor Co on YouTube. He's really good with Asana, that's how I learned it. But let's just get into it. So I've made a sample Asana My Tasks section here. So the way we usually do it is we set out our goals. We have a ton of different projects and then they all filter into my tasks. But for you to keep things simple, I'm just going to make a my task section here and then add in tasks to here as they come. So what's important for me is when I'm creating a task, the task also needs to be smart. So not only does the rock need to be smart, specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time bound, the task also needs to be smart. And so what that means for me is I need a task title, I need a type of task, I need an estimated time, and I need a priority, okay? And so let's just make an example task here together. So let's say for the hire sponsor outreach manager, let's say the next step is we got the job live, we got applicants, and the next step is we need to create a sample test for people to fill out to see their competency for this role. So maybe the task is create a sample test using Equip, which is a sample test software to judge competency and send to top 20 applicants. Okay, that might be the thing. It is a long task, but what I want to do is I want to set an estimated time. So I'm like, okay, it might take me, 15 minutes to create an account, 1 hour to create the thing, and then 45 minutes to email the 20 people. So I'll put in 2 hours here. I definitely like to be conservative. So if I really think it takes me an hour, but I'm like, hey, if problems come up, it takes me 2 hours, I want to do that. I would rather be the person that gets everything done faster than I imagined than set these aggressive timelines and not get things done, because that'll kind of set me back mentally. So we want to put an estimated time type. This is going to be on the business. So I consider hiring on the business, and priority is high. I need to get those out. And then time is today. So this is a SMART goal. We have exactly what we need to do here. We have the estimated time, the type, and the priority. Okay, so that's high. So then for LinkedIn, let's say for content, maybe what I need is 1 hour LinkedIn content writing, and I need to do this daily. So I'm gonna write this daily. I'm gonna do this as today, and then I'm gonna make this repeat daily. Okay, so 1 hour, I need to, or let's say one LinkedIn post written. Okay, so I need to write one LinkedIn post per day. So this is going to be a content task. Priority here, let's say this is high. I really need to get this related to my rock. And then estimated time, let's say it takes me 1 hour to write LinkedIn posts. Okay. And then let's say for YouTube, we're going to make one which is, weekly, film the productivity video, which is what I'm doing right now. And so this is today, content, and high. These are the rocks are the highest priority things of the day. So maybe we have little other things trickling that are lower priority. So maybe you have, like personal task, which is pay parking ticket, and you do this today. This is a personal task, but even stuff as small as that, I keep it in here, right? And so you'd go through this and you decide all these things. On the personal side of things, you could put in your workouts, but I prefer to just get those on my calendar, which is the next section. So now, let's say you have the highest priority tasks. The next thing here is you want to focus the beginning of your day on these high priority tasks. And that's where your calendar comes in. Let's start it off with a really good story that'll help you internalize the importance of the calendar. I was at a mastermind planning session in Miami a few weeks ago, and the head of the session asked us this really good question. He said, if we took the 10 people here, we took your goals on one piece of paper, and we took your calendar on one piece of paper, so we'd have 20 total pieces of paper because there's 10 people, and we mixed them all up, how fast would we be able to match the people's goals to what it says on their calendar? And I was like, holy shit, that is so important. If you cannot match your goals to your calendar, you are fucking up. They should match up. So the moral of the story is there must be time that is blocked on your calendar towards moving your rocks forward. And that should be extremely clear. It should be extremely visible every single day. It should be obvious what your goals are based on your calendar. This is a sample calendar, and what we're gonna do is we are going to plan the tasks for tomorrow here on my calendar, okay? What I like to do is I like to have gray be personal, yellow be team, and blue be work, okay? So let's plan out my day for tomorrow. So let's say the non-negotiables are, I have a team meeting from right here, right? We're gonna mark this as yellow, like I mentioned. And then I have a morning workout right here. So this is morning lift. Since my goal is to lift 60 times this quarter, we're gonna put that as gray. And then I have a night run because I wanna do 2 workouts a day. So now I have all this time. And so you wanna be very conservative with things. Okay, so what are the most important things of the day? You wanna knock those out. So create a sample test using Equip and judge competency. Okay, so here I am working on sample task, sample task for sponsor outreach manager. Great. So this is a work block or workout block. I put it as gray. And then let's say right here, I have a customer meeting, new YouTuber call. We can mark this in blue. And then this one is a new sponsor call. Okay, so these are already the things I have on my calendar. The next thing I want to do, okay, so I have this on my calendar. Now, daily 1 LinkedIn post written, okay? So I want to get this LinkedIn post written. Okay, I'm gonna make this great. Now I need to eat. So even something like lunch, I put in my calendar, boom. Okay, next thing here. So I have these like half-hour sessions. I hate those, but whatever. We're gonna do film productivity video. Okay, I need 1 hour to film that. We're gonna do it again here. So by let's say, assume this is a normal day, by 3:30 p.m., I should have gotten the main things done from right here, and then I can focus the rest of the day on either, pulling in more tasks to move forward the rocks, or I could, let's say there's other like customer demands that I need to submit a pitch plan or something like that. I can fit those in right here. But the moral of the story is I am now going into the next day knowing exactly what I'm doing in the morning to move my rocks forward. And boom, these are 3 actions that move the most important things for the business, which are the rocks, forward. So this is how you need to move with your calendar. And there's one thing that I really want you to remember if you're watching this video, super important. You don't want to consistently overshoot your tasks and miss them. I would rather, and you would rather, have less tasks on your Asana, less tasks on your calendar. You assume that it takes a little bit longer than it is, but you get all of them done rather than putting way too many that you're not gonna get it done, right? Because when you put enough that you feel like you can get it done, you want to finish your day at 0 left on your Asana. Whereas if you have 20, 30 tasks in there, you're not going to finish it, you're okay if it doesn't get done because you went into the day knowing you were going to fuck it up either way. So you want to become the type of person that is a get it doneer type of person rather than a person that is okay with not getting the job done. So that's something that's super important. And that's why I like to use the calendar, because it helps me visualize, is there enough time in the day for me to actually get done what I need to get done? Now we have the calendar, we have the task set. You've looked at your goals, your tasks align with your goals, you put in the tasks, you got it in your calendar. And so the last thing for the day is you want to record a nighttime Loom video. So I recently hired an assistant a few months ago, and I've only been doing this since then, but I wish I was doing this before and I didn't even need an assistant. I could just put it all in a database, basically, of here's all the nighttime reviews, right? So looking into this, here's what I do. In my nighttime Loom video, what I do is first download Loom. You get a bunch of free videos. You want to record a 2-minute video basically walking through these. Number 1, what are my rocks and how am I doing on them? And what am I going to do tomorrow to move them forward? Number 2, on the personal level, for me, it's like how many workouts did I do? How much did I eat? What time am I sleeping? Those are the important things for me. On the business side, what was done for today? How do we move our rocks forward? How do we move our 2027 goals forward? I like to think about that. Are there any blockers I need help with? And then this is the most important part. What are my tasks for tomorrow? What am I focusing on first thing in the morning? And what does my calendar look like? So I want to make sure that I'm time blocking time for both business and personal in my calendar. And what I like to do is I like to say this in a video because it kind of finalizes, hey, I got it done for today. And then you could have a database with all the videos so you can remember yourself, oh, I got my nighttime review done. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is the most important thing. Planning your night the day before is the most important thing. We've done this. We went through your goals. We put them in the task manager, we got them in the calendar, and we filmed the nighttime review. For me, this is the perfect way that I like to end the day. I usually do this video between 10 p.m. and midnight because it's the last thing I do. After this, I power off my computer, I power off my phone, and I go to sleep. So really, you could do everything right, but if your sleep is garbage, you're probably gonna have a bad day. So some things I like to do before I sleep is I like to turn my phone off right after I make this video. I turn my computer off too. I don't get sucked into any social media, any TV, none of that. For me, that's a complete waste of time. At night, I avoid drinking any caffeine, avoid drinking alcohol. And when it comes to actually sleeping, I just sleep in a dark, cold room. So it's really not that complicated. You just turn everything off and you go to sleep in a dark, cold room. At a high level, that's what you do. Then I just try to sleep 8 or 9 hours and get into the next day. So then when it comes to the morning, the thing is you don't need a 20-step, like that guy on TikTok, Ashton Hall. You don't need a routine like that. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. You don't need to meditate. You don't need a cold plunge. You don't need to do any of this stuff to have a productive day. That stuff is super fun. I enjoy doing it, but you don't need to do that. The number one thing of productivity is just get the 8 or 9 hours of sleep and know exactly what you're doing the next day. The thoughts of your first tasks of the day had the whole night to marinate in your head. When you wake up, you're ready to go about them. You're ready to get into them and you are ready to crush them. And the last thing I'm going to say here when it comes to productivity, something that's super important is I like to keep my phone off for the first 4 hours of the day at least. I usually keep mine off until 2 to 3 p.m., which is lunchtime. So I guess that's like closer to 6 or 7 hours. And what I found is this allows me to focus on what's most important with no distractions. Here's how I look at it. Imagine your brain has a battery with 100 units of energy. Each unit of energy can be used to make a decision. Every text you get takes a unit of energy. Every TikTok you watch takes a unit of energy. So think to yourself, where do you want those initial units of energy to go to? For me, it's focusing on my rocks. It's focusing on the most important things. And for you, it's probably not focusing on social media. You'd rather focus your highest energy units on the most important things to start your day. You could save all that other shit for later in the day. So now we've gone in the nighttime routine, we've gone in the morning time routine, and here is the 7-day challenge to wrap this whole thing up. It's a super simple 7-day challenge. Here's what I've got for you. For the next 7 days, do these 3 things. Every night, plan tomorrow today. Review your quarterly goals, input them into a task tracker, and time block them into your calendar. Number 2, record your 2-minute intention nighttime video using Loom. You don't even need to share it with anyone, but if you're watching this video with a friend, you guys can hold each other accountable and send it to each other. And number 3 is keep your phone off until lunchtime. So if you're in, comment on this video saying I'm in, and 7 days later, I want to hear your results in the comments. I know this is very simple, but it works like magic, and it's worked for me for the past 3 years. So good luck, and if you found this video helpful, also check out the other video I have, which is 25 lessons I learned by the age of 25. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll be back with another video this week.